Aloha everyone, this is Chesapeake Movie Thoughts. And today I'm doing my review of Ready Player One. I just saw it yesterday. We went to the meetup, the Chesapeake Movie Club meetup to see it. And we all had a great time. Thank you to everyone who came out. And the movie was really cool. And I think that's the right word for it, cool. Just tons of cool stuff in it, and just overall, really cool. The movie is kind of like you took The Matrix and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and just mashed them together. And if you did that, you'd get a movie very much like Ready Player One. And those are two very different kinds of movies, and you wouldn't think that they would mesh together really well, but they went together like chocolate and peanut butter. It was really awesome how it came together. The movie is about this virtual reality world. So that's kind of like the Matrix element to it. People aren't trapped in there like in the Matrix, but the story takes place in this dystopian future. As dystopian futures go, it's probably one of the better ones, if you can say that about a dystopian future, because the world hasn't been destroyed in a war like in Terminator. Or like Mad Max. It's not like this barren wasteland, but it is a world where people's problems just got so overwhelming that they just kind of gave up and stopped caring. And part of the reason they could do that is because there was now this escape from the real world in the form of this virtual reality. Basically, it's an MMORPG, a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, but it's very open-ended, so that people can just kind of make the life that they want while they're in this virtual reality world. So people just they live out what they have to in the real world, and then they just escape to this what they call the Oasis. That's the name of the game, and it's such an immersive experience that people just live out most of their lives, or at least a good half of their lives, in it. And the creator, this is where the Willy Wonka thing comes in, the creator of this virtual reality world has passed away, and in his will he specifies that whoever finds an Easter egg that he's hidden in the game will inherit his shares of the company that produces the game, which would give them control of the company, which gives them control of the game. It gives them control of a virtual reality world where people in the real world live out half their lives. So this is a really powerful thing. So there have been people searching for these Easter eggs, not only ordinary people like the protagonist of our story, but also there have been it's been one in particular, a big corporation that is the corporation that runs the game's biggest competitor, and they have had teams, armies of people trained to do nothing else but go into this game and find that Easter egg, because if they get control over the Oasis, they stand to make a huge profit off of it. And they have your typical irredeemable bad guy corporate leader who's kind of controlling this, and he's our bad guy, and we have a team of kind of young misfits that end up teaming up. They don't really plan to, but they end up teaming up to find this Easter egg and to get to it before the big heartless corporation does, which is kind of a cliche. The big heartless corporation now is kind of a cliche, but in this kind of movie, this movie it's like a Geeks Dream. It's because it's referencing all kinds of pop culture. The guy who created this virtual reality world was a big pop culture nut himself. So this is a movie about a world that movie buffs like us would love, because it's just full of all the stuff we love from all of our favorite movies and TV and video games and all of that. So part of the fun of this is just seeing this world of all the stuff we love made real, or at least in close enough. It's all this, when they're in the Oasis, it's all this CGI world, but it's people are walking and talking and interacting with licensed characters, because they apparently they had to, behind the scenes, get a lot of rights worked out. This is one of those movies like Who Framed Roger Rabbit or Wreck-It Ralph, where it required the cooperation of a lot of different IP owners in order to make this happen. And yeah, I mean, what they came up with is pretty special, I think, anyway. I mean, I'm not going to say it's the best movie of the year, but it's kind of unique, which is weird to say because it's also kind of derivative, because it's derivative of, like, everything. It's, like, it's pulling from, like, everything. And there are the cliches and everything like that, but it's put together in a way that, like, I've never really seen before. So, in its own way, it's kind of a special movie, and I do recommend it. I do recommend it pretty highly. Again, I'm not going to say it's the greatest movie of the year. I'm not going to say that if you don't see it, you're committing some kind of crime against yourself. But I will say that it is, especially if you're like a movie buff like me, if you're into like pop culture and like that, it is one really enjoyable ride. There are some major like action set pieces that just throw in all these references that are just so cool. Again, that's the word for this movie. It's just cool. Anyway, that's pretty much what I want to say about the movie. And once again, it was even better because I was seeing it at the meetup, which was a lot of fun. Alright, like, comment, subscribe, and that's a wrap.